Alright, so this is our new water pump that we're going to be fitting here. This is a shed my girls don't like coming into, and you can probably understand why. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Look at the size of them. They're big mamas now. They are big mamas. Anyway, this is our pump. Now, our feed is going to be coming in through here. I want to put this somewhere down here low on the ground. So I'm going to have to make up some sort of a bracket to fit on this wall. So let's get that done. I have no idea what this came off, but I need about a foot, and it's good heavy angle iron this. So this here is an old, it's on my mind what it is, but I just can't figure out what it was. But it's junk now, but it has some good angle iron on it, and I'm going to cut them pieces off and I'm going to use them for legs for this. I was just messing about. I was coming back up from lunch and I spotted this guy here. It's for mounting a pressure washer reel on top of a PTO washer. I don't need it anymore. I don't have that washer anymore. But the steel certainly is perfect for what I want because it's got a wide plate, and I'll show you what I mean more when we're fitting it. But the holes line up exactly for the pump, so it's a coincidence. I think it was just made to work. So let's use this. I grinded off all the galvanized. I just want to make sure we're right here, so which we are. Spot on. And stick a lump of welding on. What you have here is just two legs to take the pressure off, because there's going to be a right bit of weight in this. This pump is quite heavy, so have two legs here will make a big difference, and will definitely leave it that it's not vibrating or chance of it bending down. There's the stand in there. I threw some paint at it, just make it look a wee bit more pleasing. Now I just have to level it, drill two holes into this. I don't need to bolt the legs to the ground because the sheer weight of the pump, and by God, let me tell you, it's heavy, will do that for me. So let's mark it up, let's get it fixed and get our pump on it. Alright, so these guys here we're using, you just roll back the nut, and it's kind of a chamfered end here if you can see it. Just hammer on that and drive her home. The reason for this wide plate, you can see here now, the way the pump sits solid the whole way across, rather than having a narrow plate like this, where it only come halfway, it might leave a chance for this kind of to break, and believe it or not, you break that quite easily. So the fact that it's sitting now level the whole way across, that'll do away with that problem. So let's stick the bolts now. Right, so these bolts almost fit, you can see that. Oh, there's next to nothing in it. What actually is in it is just the paint, so I'm going to run the die grinder in there, just widen that out rather than putting a smaller bolt in it. She's solid. So one thing you notice I don't use when I'm doing any of this kind of stuff is an impact gun or anything like that. I always just use normal wrenches. You're able to judge the tension better, and with these here, I've seen it happen. You can shear them straight off by using an impact, so I'd always advise you just use a normal set of wrenches or even a ratchet. Probably save yourself a fortune in the long run. But anyway, what I'm going to do here is I need to get power. That there is control box for our cooler. I know there's mains power coming directly into that, so I can pull some power from that and come across here. I want to put a switch for this pump. These walls are very, very hard to go through. They're mass concrete, solid concrete with steel going through the middle of them. You see this hole here, you'll see another one over here, and so on over here. When you pour a mass concrete wall, if you're not from the farming or building trade or know nothing about those kind of things, how a mass concrete wall is poured is you have two steel pans, which you call shutters, and you've got bolts then that go through those, one shutter to the other, that you tighten up on either end, and that holds the shutters together. So you fill it with concrete then. On the concrete set, then you just unscrew, pull out the bolts, take the shutters away, and you're left with a wall, a nice smooth wall like that there. And these here are simply the bolt holes. Now inside each bolt hole there is a plastic kind of a shroud that fits through. The bolt goes through the middle of that plastic. That stops the concrete from coming in contact with that bolt. So these holes here would be open then after the shutters have come off, and then the guy comes along, just slops a lump of plaster in there to fill them on both sides. So this is a good access point here for me to drill a hole through to bring wire from here into the other shed. And there we are, there's our hole coming through there, and if you look closely you can see a little bit of grey there. There is our plastic insert, so that makes it a perfect place to carry a wire. This box up. I've just tested this, power is off. The only power we have now is the lights. They're a completely different circuit. I have a couple of spare places here where I can bring in a wire and just take some power from this here, and that should run our pump. Alright, so just going to feed the wire through here. Good we farm jacket. Not only good for wearing, but it's also good for keeping dust of stuff. Bear that in mind. I'll stick in there, and there we are. So I just want to add some of this trunking here that will come down out of our covered PVC pipe and just bring it straight into the motor. This is good stuff here. I don't like having wires, even the covered, I don't like having them bare like that. I like having something over them just to give them a wee bit of extra protection, so that's why I use this stuff. So this is the hole we need to go through here. I'm sorry about the noise. We're just getting a tail end of a tropical storm here. But I've drilled a series of round holes here, so I'm hoping this will knock out handy enough now with a Kango. Up here, you're not great. I'd rather you were straighter. You go in there. Oh, now we're sucking diesel. So just hiding here in this corner to block the wind because I've no mic with me today, but there is that pipe in. When I drilled a hole through, to my own surprise, the floor is a lot higher in here than the garden level. It doesn't matter because the fall from the tank, there's only a little bit of a rise going up. It's probably what, about 1.5 feet, in around 1.5 feet. But you have to imagine the water level in the tank, once it doesn't go below this level here, I'll always have pressure driving the water through here. So that's alright. I'm going to be fitting insulation around there and cementing that hole back up again. But for now, let's get in and continue on connecting this up. Alright, so this lad sits in here and this bike is on here. Alright, so this is flexi hose here, and the guy I bought the pump off didn't really recommend it, but two of the farmers that I was with had it fitted on theirs and they said they were told to get it, so that's why I got it. I have a feeling it is just to do with slight vibration in the pump, although a new pump shouldn't have vibration in it, but that's not to say, you never know. So I ordered this piece here to come in yesterday, so it's on now. I'm just looking up there, and first of all I can see there's no wire up there, so we're good to go there. So now I want to have a look up and see what's in here. So there is a great channel for running pipes. Alright, so this is the pipe we're going to use here. This is, I don't think there's anything wrote on it. Oh, there is. There it is. So it's 40mm pipe that we're going to put on. People say this is a good pipe. I don't know. It's the next best thing, or probably is maybe better than gun barrel. I don't know. Gun barrel's a good job. I see that in a lot of parlours in over 30 years and it hasn't given any bother. So whether this is any better or not, I know it's something that I'm fit to do myself. Gun barrel, I didn't go with that because I'd have to start cutting threads. This is gun barrel, by the way. I'd have to start to cut these threads. I would have all these fittings outside already from an old milking powder that I bought, but I'd still have to come along and thread new bits, and I don't have a threader. And I didn't want to have to bring a man in to start running gun barrel. I want to get this done myself this week and finish, so I went with this option. And I've been told by people that's fitting new milking powders that this is what they're using. So this will go around the pipe, wrap around it. It's got a tape on it as well. You peel back and it will stick to itself. I have to get more lengths of it. I only got 6, was all that was left, but I'm going to get more now later on this week. But I want to insulate the bit that's going in there, because once it's in I won't be fit to get at it. There's that stuff on. I came along with the bale tape as well, just ordinary bale wrap for repairing your bales, and I put a layer of bale tape around it as well. You shouldn't need to, it's probably 100% because this stuff is hard tacky, but it was quite tight to put onto the pipe, so I decided I'd go every foot or so and wrap it with that as well, and that means that it'll stay on. There's no hope of that coming off. Inserted that pipe. No, wrong fitting. No. So this means I have to run now to the co-op to get another fitting for this. Anyway, we can stick this upper piece in. There we go. See the hole, the openings on that? You look, the openings in this, it's an inch fitting alright, but look how much is reduced down to about 3/4. Look at this poly here. It's an inch fitting here on the outside, but look down into it. You can see how much is reducing it. There's a good side by side there now. You can see the difference. Look at the opening there versus here. So I'm not going to run to the co-op. I'm going to look to see can you get a different one. And if we can, we will. Probably go for a larger size up. We should be able to solve that problem. But for now, here today, to get this working, I'm just going to plumb this straight into this. We now have it solved here, have it plumbed in. So you can see I changed this fitting, I got a bigger one. Very same thing again, just a bigger one, but I done away with the flexi hose for now. And I think we don't need it. I think the issue was with the vibration was more to people who was using gun barrel, which would be the solid pipe like this. You see this here? You have movement, a little bit of movement there, and I don't think there's any real need for it. We'll see as time goes on, but I think I'll just leave it as it is. I think it's fine. Alright, so now we're plumbed in over to here. That didn't take very long. Now, some people might say, Adrian, you're using cable ties? Yeah, nothing wrong with cable ties. But I don't want to fix anything permanent yet because I do want to insulate all of this. And I do have some insulation, but not enough to do all of this. So I'm going to leave that separate. There's also clips you can get to use, plumbers will use them outside to fix, you know, the downpipes come from wash basins, which is basically the same diameter as this. It'd be great for holding them. Just screw it into the wall and you have a bracket then it keeps this dead on in place. I'm planning on bringing this the whole length, see the way it sits on top of that there? And I can bring that the whole way across there, the whole way down the bottom of that power. Because I want to put 2 quick releases that I talked about before. And I will have to say real quickly, massive thank you for the response I got in the last video and all the private messages and emails and all the help that I got from people. Some people say they pick up little bits and tricks and things from watching us here, what we do, just a general bit of routing. But I have to respond by saying I learned so much from the people that watch. I've learned more in the last 3 years than I would have learned in a lifetime nearly of farming, just stuff that I didn't know about. So we're all learning together. And by the way, if you see anything that's wrong, don't be afraid to say it is wrong. Do this a certain way because I'm up for that. If it's wrong, it's wrong. And I'd be more than happy to correct it. And I'll share with others where I've made my mistakes because I make plenty of them. Editing makes everything look so easy. Trust me. That's just editing. And there's loads of people watching here and might say they would like to tackle a job like that. Of course you can tackle it. Well fit to tackle it. Anybody's fit to do that. You just have to have the confidence, that's all. You'll make mistakes. You'll make big blunders, which I've made loads of them my whole life. But you learn from them. And you get better and better and better. Cut it around 5 foot for now. Yep. That's what I'm thinking there. So this will go up into our blue pipe. This will be me on and off for now. And for now only, this will be connecting our hose pipe for the pit. We'll go into this because I have ordered quick attaches for this. It's just going to take a couple of days for them to come in. So I'm just going to do this here on the vise because there's quite a few little joiners to connect up. It's going to be quite easy to do it here versus in behind the jar and the pit. So let's join this up. Alright, I'd be lying if I told you I wasn't getting excited now. I'm getting very close to making time, so I want to be getting the move on, but I don't want to stop now because we're so close. All I have to do is hook up a hose here, and I've got my hose there, which is a twin wall hose. It's not your standard yellow hose. I don't even know the name of it. Have a look there if you want. That's the hose that is there, if that helps you out or not. But I was told that this is the stuff that I should use. I also use this stuff here in lighter grade, in the 1/2 inch stuff, and it's never busted. Although that wouldn't be on there now from a pressure. I do know a neighbour that has this stuff or similar and it has busted. I think it all busts eventually or swells out and cracks. but it seems to last an awful lot longer than the standard yellow pipe. So let's get it hooked up to the end there. Let's run our hose down the pit, stick the nozzle on the end of it, and check to see it's working. So I'm just putting in some really hot water here just to soften it a wee bit. Put this one on here. Okay. Not as hard as the other one. Right, so I'd be lying if I said it's the same day and I haven't tested it, because it's a different day and I have tested them, sorry. But I ran out of time and the battery got really, really low and I loaded stuff on, and trust me, you're going to see it working. But I am smiling, that means it is good news. Wasn't all good news, we had a little bit of an issue, but only minor. I'm going to now show you, because I'm finished milking now this evening, and the parlour, though it doesn't look too dirty, the cows were well behaved this evening. We haven't washed it down. We've the washing all done, the clusters and things, but this is not washed down. It's so wet outside that nothing's sticking to the cow's feet, so that hence the reason it's probably the cleanest I've seen the parlour after milking in a long time. So when I come up to milk, I turn the pump on. When I turned it on the first evening, the pump runs straight away because it had to prime itself. Now, I didn't have to prime it. What I done was just turned on the hose at the very, very end, left it open, turned on the pump, and the water came to probably in about 5 seconds or in around that. The only leak we had, which I still see a wee bit of a leak, now when I'm looking at it, is there. Just there. There is a leak there, and it's coming from that joint. I put loads of plumber's tape on it, and it's still leaking, so I think we're missing a seal in here. Then we come down and turn on our valve when we need to use it. So you can obviously see it's difference in night and day compared to what we were previously using, which would have been this. And that's our pressure there now, there's no taps on or nothing. So you can see it took a wee while for stuff to be washed out versus one thing I did notice about it, and I was using this yesterday evening and this morning for milking, I would never really use it as full force like that. Well, apart from just washing out. Now normally I wash the parlour out during while the machine is washing. The machine is off tonight because I wanted you to be able to hear what I'm saying, so we left it to last. I find if a cow dunged or whatever, I wouldn't turn on the full pressure because it would slap it all up on the walls and everything, so I just come along like this, just a bit that there, and that doesn't splash on anything. It washes out everything just right. I'm trying not to splash the feet when I'm at this, so I'm being very polite. And then when I'm finished, just tuck it in there against the wall. When I'm milking from the clusters from the cow, I've never got my feet in there. I have loads of room, so I'm not walking on the pipe. I think that's the right way to do it. I'm really happy, finally, I got this job done. I'm talking about it long enough, but I finally got round to taking the time and getting it all plumbed in and working, and yeah. It's a nice upgrade for our milking parlour, and it definitely saves time. So the discussion we had before was continuing this pipe, this blue pipe that's here, the full length of the pit of the floor, and then bring it straight down here and put the very same here as what's up there. I can hook it in here, then I can wash the whole back of the parlour yard if I want, and even the crush, which is up on that side as well. So that's where it'll come in really, really handy. So I was talking about these brackets, now I have them on, and all I done was to take them out from the wall. I got a couple of inserts, 1/2 inch inserts, that would be for water pipes, and I put them in as spacers. That kept this pipe out from the wall. I'm going to insulate all of this pipe, every bit of it, including this wash down pipe. This stuff here is completely useless, so I'm going to replace that with heavier stuff and just really insulate this parlour a lot better than what it is. If you look here, this is our wash down supply here. And here is our wash down pipe. I could come along and I could put a T there, and I could join this into this, and I could use that to pressurise these. And then I could put a lever on here and a lever to the feed, and I could turn it off here and turn back on our mains. Say if the pump ever broke down or it was out of water or something like that, or there was no electric, I can go back to the mains just with a flick or two levers and that's it working. I'd also like to use the well for other stuff. I'd like to use a bit of wash down our milking machine and stuff. We'll have to test it before we can do any of that to meet all regulations, but I'm hoping that it'll test okay after it's been run for a while. If not, we'll stick in some sort of a treatment system. I still think it'd be worthwhile doing because we use a lot of water to wash our machine after every milking, and that would definitely be a saving for us. There's one final thing I want to do here when Sinead's away and I can borrow her printer or labeler, whatever you call it.
I'll kill you if he sees you using that.
She won't know because you're not going to tell her. That's why I put a £5 in your pocket.